felt there was some room to kind of expand the different things that people could build with their item pool. Basically, if you want to build tanky, you've had health protections, and that's the only way you've been able to increase that. If you're an ability user, you've kind of had cooldown rate, you've had various forms of penetration, and that's been kind of simplified down. You haven't had much more to optimize besides just your scaling value and cooldown. There's also just a few stats that we kind of wanted to bring back that are more utility focused, but have had some level of problems that have, like, we wanted to kind of address all three of those issues in one go.
Why not?
Talk about the first two stats called plating and dampening. These are to kind of address the different ways that tanks can help mitigate against things. Plating let you target specifically attack damage. All forms of basic attack damage, magical or physical. Dampening is 1% damage mitigation against abilities, and this caps at 35. This introduces also caps again. We felt like this one in particular, given that it's just raw mitigation, making it cap at a certain value makes sense. You want to have that good mix of physical and magical damage. You want to have that good mix of attack damage versus ability damage. If teams stack one way or there's one particular threat, you can now really itemize against them. Spectral is really meant to be the anti-critical strike item. Generally, critical strikes are attack damage.
Yes.
Plating, it mitigates it. Plus, it has the passive that makes it so that you take less critical strike damage.
Okay.
And ability critical strikes are going to be mitigated by your plating as well. Shot ults will also get mitigated by this. Problem 2, ability users don't really have a great stat to go towards. Flat penetration, that's like the other stat that ability users tend to use, but attack damage users can also use that. Flat pen may come back at some point, but that's a much bigger passive. And so echoes allow abilities to echo, dealing 40% of its damage again. We went with the theme of like drums because it just made sense for echo. We have a different way for ability users to have some level of scaling that isn't just more strength, more intelligence.
This goes off any ability that's used, like Raral, for example, Coconut could trigger this.
Yep.
I'm so smart.
Crazy.
It's like crit. It's random.
That's the ability side of things. We have the two utility stats that are coming back, pathfinding and tenacity.
Boots are
back.
Boots are back.
7 years later, we have brought boots back.
Not all the boots, just one pack.
Movement speed as a stat is potent for two reasons. One reason is it allows you to rotate very, very effectively. The second is it also makes it really hard for you to be hit in combat. Both those strengths combined have made us very hesitant to put movement speed back into the game. But pathfinding is way weaker in combat, but it still allows you to pathfind around the map.
So you're going to have more mobility in combat by about 33%. Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then out of combat, you're going to
be zooming around. For all these, you can see that we only have a few items in here. Plan is that we'd expand on this more. Kind of roughly had a goal of at least getting like a few items in for each one. And then we'll expand on this more in the future. The other one is tenacity. Right now, it's going to be crowd control reduction. In the future, it will be crowd control reduction that also works on knockbacks and displacements. In the same way that we have a few stuns that say this is not affected by diminishing returns and this is not affected by crowd control reduction, we'd apply that to some knockbacks. Currently, no, it's just going to work like crowd control reduction does in Smite 1. But
which is just reduce the length of CC.
Other changes, instead of reducing duration of slows, it'll reduce intensity of slows. You now can build stuff that helps you with CC, pathfinding, which helps you zoom around the map, plating and dampening, which will help you target specific types of damage that aren't just physical and magical. And echo, which will be a new form of scaling for ability users.
When we introduce new things, some stuff is going to be good, some stuff's not going to be good enough. We will quickly address things with balance. We're going to keep a close eye on this when we're shaking things up by introducing new stats like this, and we will be quick to respond. But we think these stats are good for the future of the game. If all goes well, they will make building more interesting as a tank because you'll be able to respond more to the specific threat versus just being universally I'm good versus everything as a tank. And it gives another build path to mages who just didn't have that build path. And then for people that want to opt into, I need more movement speed to get around the map, you can do that. But at the cost of you're not getting another damage item. You're not getting another defense item. There's some trade-off.
There's going to be some sort of trade-off.
I'm
so smart.
Crazy.
Why not?